All right, people, so I'm here with your Extreme Rules 2017 review, and the show is pretty lackluster. I mean, what's the name of the pay per view? Extreme Rules. I'm expecting some extreme moments, some extreme matches, but we got very few of that. Very few extreme moments. So let's get into the review. We have Miz defeating Ambrose, and just a boring match to begin the show. 20-minute match, 20 minutes and 10 seconds long here. Miz wins the title for like the 20th time. I mean, how long are they going to keep Miz in the mid card for? Like forever? I mean, he is a perennial, a lifelong mid carder. So the match sucked. I mean, it didn't suck, but it was boring. It got a bit interesting at the end with Maurice interfering, but I mean, nothing too spectacular. Um, and Maurice slapped Miz. Miz was about to win by DQ, but the ref didn't call it. And then Ambrose is distracted. Miz hits his finisher. 1, 2, 3. Miz wins. So yeah, it was just pretty fucking boring. I compare winning the IC title. It's like making the playoffs in hockey. I mean, if you do it fucking 20 times in a row, you do it seven. I think Miz won. Seriously, Miz won the title for his like seventh time. I mean, if you make the playoffs 7 times and you get eliminated in the first round, I mean, it's nothing to get all worked up about. Same thing with the IC title. It's like making the playoffs. I mean, it's really no accomplishment at all. So yeah, I gave it 1.5 out of 5 stars. Just boring wrestling for the most part. And talk about boring wrestling. Your next match is Banks and Swan defeating Fox and Noam Dar. I mean, are they really trying to pass this off as a legitimate pay per view match? Because this doesn't even deserve to be on Raw. I mean, this is even questionable to deserve to be on a show like Main Event. I mean, it's just terrible. To put this on a pay per view, it's really a slap in the face to fans. So we have a 6 minute and 30 second mixed tag match. Just terrible. Like 0 out of 5 stars. I mean, what the fuck are they doing with this shit? And then you got Alicia Fox, or not Alicia, Sasha Banks, and that fucking idiot. What's his name? Rich Swan. Doing the rope thing after the match. Oh, how cute is that? How dumb is that? How stupid is that? God, I mean, they're all smiling and they're like, and then everybody else is probably watching this like, what the fuck is this? I'll tell you what it is. It's some goddamn bullshit. Then we have Alexa Bliss defeating Bayley, and just a terrible match. I mean, I don't know what the fuck they're doing here. They only give it 5 minutes and 15 seconds. 5 minutes and 15 seconds for a fucking your Divas title match on a match on a pay per view with six matches. You could only afford to give this 5 minutes and 15 seconds. So Bailey reaches up and gets the. They both knock it down at the same time, the kendo stick, and then Bailey eventually grabs it. And by the way, the whole premise, one of the big ideas, around this whole match was does Bailey have the balls to hit Bliss with the kendo stick? And I never really talked about this, but how dumb of a storyline is that? I keep ranting on how stupid Bailey's character is and how dumb they were to give a character like that the title. Somebody who goes around hugging people, who has those inflatable things pop up randomly during her entrance, something you would see at a 5-year-old's birthday party. It's just she's so not tough. She's so much of a pussy. And my point could not be proven better throughout this whole feud. Oh, does Bailey have the balls to hit Alexa Bliss with the candle? I mean, are you kidding me? That's the whole fucking point of this fucking company, wrestling. You fucking hit people with you punch and you fucking use the chairs and you hit people and you use whatever the fuck you can and you fucking hurt them. Oh, but does Bailey have the balls to hit some? That's your fucking job. You're a fucking wrestler. You're supposed to be tough. I mean, what a dumbass decision to whoever thought of that. Whoever thought of this Bailey character is dumb. And now they have her, oh, does she have the balls to hit Alexa Bliss with a fucking kendo stick? I mean, how soft is Bailey look right now? Just terrible. So they have the match, and so this is your first extreme match throughout the whole night. The third match, and we finally get some extreme moments, and it's really not that extreme because all it is a couple kendo stick shots. I mean, it's nothing that impressive. It's nothing we haven't seen before. It's nothing that I didn't expect. So Bliss hits her a couple times with the kendo stick, and that's about it. Zero out of 5 stars. I mean, just terrible. Then we have uh, Cesaro and Sheamus defeating the Hardys. This was actually a good match. This was the best match of the night here. I underestimated this. I will admit I was, wrong about that. I wasn't too excited for this. I said, inside a steel cage, you don't really have, that much room to work around. But they did a good job. It got a little bit repetitive with throwing the people into the steel cage and shit like that. But I thought there were some good moves in here. The highlight of the match was obviously Jeff Hardy jumping off the top of the cage. That was really cool. Very, very well done. Very safely done. That was a good, very good executed move right there. I mean, really just flawless on that. And there was some good move. There were some other good moves in there. Throwing everybody into the cage. One thing they have to eliminate though with the fucking steel cage is the door. Get rid of that fucking door. I mean, holy shit, it's so annoying. Put a fucking lock on the door. The only way you could win is fucking climb out of the motherfucking cage. I mean, it's so easy just to fuck. I mean, why would anybody climb out of the cage? I mean, it makes everybody, it makes pretty much everybody in the steel cage look like they have an IQ of fucking 50. Because anybody would just fucking walk out of the door as opposed to climb the cage. I mean, who the fuck would climb the cage when you could just walk out the door in 2 seconds? I mean, that's another area where this company is just dumb as fuck. So, but you have good match. There was some suspense with they would get up to the top of the cage and are they going to fall down or not. Um, and it's always you got to respect that too. That they're going up. I mean, that's like what 15, 20 feet up in the air. I mean, it takes balls to go up that high. I mean, you fall from that height. I mean, you could really fuck your body up. So good match here. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. Cesaro and Sheamus win, so they're the new champions. So then we have Neville defeating Austin Aries, and really just I mean, pretty mediocre cruiserweight match here. I mean, you had a couple of good moves, but I mean, for the most part, just pretty boring, pretty basic, pretty ordinary here. It was a long match, 17 minutes and 30 seconds long. Um, and it didn't really impress me too much. I mean, it was pretty slow for a cruiserweight match. I mean, some like I said, some good moves, but I mean, not enough. So I gave two out of 5 stars here. And then you get the main event, and the main event didn't really impress me too much. I mean, it took forever to get going. I mean, it was very boring for a long time there with Samoa Joe and Bray Wyatt just beating everybody. I can't find any fucking where to put my iPad. It took a while there, like I was saying, Samoa Joe and Bray Wyatt were just really, just boring beat downs on everybody for like 10 minutes straight. It got boring there. I mean, it took a while. I mean, this was an Extreme Rules match, too. I mean, and it took forever to get some weapons in there. I mean, you had like they used the steel steps and they ran over a couple people. Joe and Bray Wyatt, hit a couple people with that to the chest. Nothing too spectacular. You had a couple chair shots. I mean, it took forever to get some extreme moments. I mean, you had a couple, but very few until, then we had two, really great moments in this match when Reigns speared, I believe it was Samoa Joe and Balor through the ring, through the barricade, and then you had Rollins do the frog splash through the table on fuck somebody, but he the frog splash, and yeah, that was cool. So who was it? Fuck, it's escaping me, but he did the frog splash. So that was really your two great moments. I mean, other than that, I'm really struggling to find, really any good moments. I mean, I mean, other than that, I mean, it was pretty boring. Other than that, I mean, another really just like Neville Austin Aries, a pretty mediocre match here. I mean, I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. And like I said, it took forever to get some extreme moments, some weapons into this match. I mean, you had a couple chair shots, a couple, you know, the steel steps were used a little bit, but I mean that's about it. And then then I will give him credit. Those two moves are really great. But I mean, it just wasn't enough. I mean, this was I believe it was a 29-minute match. I mean, just not enough. Too much slow spots. I mean, you have 5 fucking people in there. Let's pick up the pace. So yeah, I mean, and then Samoa Joe won. That really surprised me. They made Samoa Joe win. I didn't expect them to do heel versus heel, but apparently that's what they're going to do. This and I also really don't get why they had Samoa Joe win, because he hasn't done anything in this company. He's lost to Rollins. He wasn't even at Mania. I mean, he hasn't really even beat anybody. I mean, he's beat jobbers pretty much, and that's about it. So why the fuck they would put him, as number one contender really is just beyond me. It's the same thing with Jinder Mahal, going from jobber to champion in fucking like 2 months. I mean, you got to slowly build somebody up. You just can't do that. They don't understand hierarchy. You can't just go from being a nobody to being the champion just like that. So yeah, I mean, and overall too, like I was saying, this show did not have enough extreme moments. Did not have enough extreme shit. I mean, that's the name of the pay-per-view. Extreme Rules. A mixed tag match is not a legitimate stipulation. Changing, the title changes hands by DQ is not a legitimate stipulation. I mean, not legitimate stipulations. I mean, most of the matches, if not all, should be, no DQ, Extreme Rules, etc. And also, a submission match does not really qualify as Extreme Rules because weapons are not allowed to be used. So right off the bat, 3 out of your 6 matches are not Extreme Rules. Steel cage match, yes, that was a good one. However, the ending match was really dragged out. 2 great moments, yes, but nothing else really. Consistency. You just can't have 2 great moments and say, okay, there you go. No, I mean, you got to have, some other, like good spots. We had 2 great spots, but I mean, that's about it. So, and then your other match, fuck, I don't even remember the other match. I mean, it wasn't really a memorable show, at all. So, and you also had, I forgot, you had Elijah Sampson like randomly sing a song. I mean, very fucking weird there. I mean, I don't know what the fuck that was about, but yeah, so so here's your fucking Extreme Rules. Oh, no, yeah, the other match, Bailey, Alexa Bliss, again, a couple kendo shots, and it was a 5-minute match. No, does not qualify. I mean, like I said, that was a 0 out of 5-star match. Does not qualify. That's not a passable pay-per-view match. So there you go, people. There's your Extreme Rules review. Not, I wouldn't say a terrible show, but I mean, it wasn't good. It was not good. Definitely a underwhelming show. So there you go, people. There's your review.